Welcome to another episode of Dialogue with the Dukes. I'm your host, Bill Berger, and today we are highlighting Thrive in the Mind, Body, Spirit Project. Today's show is being brought to you by the Bread and Brew Restaurant, located at the intersection of Routes 18 and 58 in downtown Wellington. Today, as I said, we're highlighting Thrive. And within Thrive, the question would be, what is a social worker? And to answer that question today, on my immediate left, we have Mrs. Emily Medves. She is a social worker, in fact, the social worker, I think we'd have to say, within the Wellington School District. So Emily, welcome.
Thank you.
Glad to have you with us today. I guess that first question has to be, what is a social worker? What does a social worker do?
Okay, so it definitely is a loaded question. I am the district social worker for Wellington here, and I'm primarily in all three buildings. So I'm in Westwood, McCormick, and the high school, working with the kids, families, administration for overall wellness. I work with kids individually to help support mental health. I work with the district to support mental health, and then providing resources for families within the community, working with community partners just to make sure that everyone has what they need.
Has Wellington always had a social worker? I guess that's the first question. And then the second question, how many have there been? Are you the only one? Are you the first one?
So this is my first year at Wellington, so I'm the only social worker this year. To my knowledge, there has been some social workers in the past. I don't know when they exactly got their first one or how long they've been there, but all I know is that I'm here now.
Okay. Now you talked about the three schools. Where do you actually practice your craft, I guess is the right word?
Everywhere in the district. I'm usually dedicating myself for a full day at each building, and then the other 2 days during the week I'm floating around to the buildings and sharing. And I have a caseload at each building, and then it's just wherever I'm needed. They have me on speed dial if there's ever a crisis situation or if a student needs to talk to someone. So I just kind of float around the whole district.
Well, I'm glad you brought that up. You said in case there's an emergency or something like that. Let's say that there is an emergency. How do they contact you, and where do you actually go? What do you actually do in an emergency?
Absolutely. So all the districts have my email address and my phone number. They usually know what room I am in whenever I'm in each of the buildings. If there was a crisis such as a student were feeling suicidal, or there was a problem at home, or there was a problem in school or someone needed to talk to someone, then I would go and assess the situation and then refer out to the proper resources if they needed more than what I could offer in the school setting.
Okay. Yeah. All right, let's give an example. I'm a junior at Wellington High School.
Okay.
I'm all of a sudden in crisis mode. Something has happened, and I'm all upset. What do I do? How do I contact you?
Okay, absolutely. So you can go to the office and you can ask to speak with a school counselor or the social worker. I have gotten pretty close with all the school counselors in the building, so we do work hand in hand together. If I were to be called on to work with a child, I would just start where the kid is, see what's going on in that present moment, sit with them until they're ready to talk, and once they're ready, assess what they need. If they are needing something outside of the school that they can't get to right now, that's where I would kind of step in and help be that resource linkage person to help them. And then working with the family to make sure that the family has everything that they need at home as well. So trying to link that community school child triangle.
Well, you keep bringing up questions in my mind. Again, I'm in crisis. How do you make me feel comfortable?
Good question. I would just start by getting to know you. You can't trust someone right off by knowing someone, and you can't expect someone just to spill everything that is on their mind. So getting comfortable, getting to know the person, asking basic questions, treating them like they're human is my main thing. I want someone to be comfortable when they come and speak with me. So having that conversation before I drill someone with a bunch of questions. I think that's the most important thing, is just to get them comfortable with who I am, or if there's someone in the school that they feel comfortable with, whether it's a teacher, administrator, asking if they want me to bring that person in there, if they want to feel more comfortable. That's always an option as well.
Mm-hmm. Okay, now you've made me feel comfortable. Now, how do you direct me, for lack of a better term, to solve my problem?
Okay, well, depending what it may be, if it's something that we can address in school, if it's a problem with the class, maybe setting up a meeting with the teacher to work together. If it's something at home, calling the family and meeting that way, seeing what I can do to help at home. I've been doing a lot of work with helping people with food. So if a child came to me that they need food at home, or they need clothes, or any of those basic needs, I've been working closely with some community partners as well, so that way they know who that I am, so that I can refer people for needs like that as well. So if there's a problem, I try and navigate it and problem solve it.
Okay, now the dumb question of today. Does everybody know who you are? Does everybody know where to contact you? Does everybody know that there's this service is available?
Yeah. Well, that is one of the main reasons why I was excited to do this interview, so that way I can get myself out there.
There you go.
For students, if there's a student who feels like they need to speak with me, they can go to the office, they can speak with their guidance counselor, principal, they know how to get a hold of me. Teachers and administrators, there is a slip on a pink sheet of paper in all the offices in the district. If they have a concern with the student, or a student comes to them, they can write the name of the student on a piece of paper and put it in my mailbox, and then I will follow up with them. And then for parents, there is a online forum on Wellington's district website, where it is a Google form that parents can fill out with their information. It gets automatically sent to me, and then I can reach out to the family with whatever they need. So those are my main ways of reaching people, but I'm always accessible by phone, by email, wherever I'm needed. So
okay,
yeah.
By phone, by email, tell us.
Oh goodness, my email would be Medves, and then it would be MEDVES at wellingtonvillageschools.org. And of course, right now I'm blanking on my phone number for my office.
440-647-7901.
He's got it. Perfect. You have a good memory. So yeah, that is how you can reach me at the office as well.
Exactly. Well, one final question before we break for a message.
Yeah.
We have a change in guidance counselors here at Wellington High School. So who are the Wellington High School, well, not only the Wellington District, should I say, guidance counselors?
Okay, so at the high school we have Mrs. Franz. She is also new this year, and she is great. We've been working closely together too to help students navigate needs. So she's at the high school. At the middle school right now we have Mrs. Shellhouse. She is filling in for Mrs. Sherman until she gets back in January. And then over at Westwood Elementary we have Mrs. Burns. So those are the main contact people that you can reach out to with any needs. And I'm working closely with all of them, so absolutely.
Very good. Well, when we break for this message, we're going to be talking in the second half of the episode. We're going to be talking specifically about her education, what makes her, for lack of a better term, what is so special about her, and is she licensed and things like that. We'll be back again after this message.
Bread and Brew, a great place to go if you're working up an appetite. With the delicious treats cooked to perfection. A great place to sit in a comfy recliner and relax with nothing but smiles throughout the whole store. And a nice cold beverage with your name on it. So come on by today to Bread and Brew.
We are back. We hope that if you are hungry, it'd be best to, among other places here in the downtown Wellington area, you can go to the Bread and Brew, located at the intersection of Routes 18 and Route 58 here in downtown Wellington. Also, remember that the Bread and Brew has a back room, a meeting room in the back, and they can not only provide refreshments for you, but if you need a meeting room to get out information to the village, or just have a meeting like the Boy Scouts or Kiwanis, which I know Kiwanis does meet in the back room of Bread and Brew, do contact the people at Bread and Brew at, again, the intersection of Route 18 and Route 58. We've been talking with Mrs. Emily Medves, about social working here within the Wellington School District. I guess before we go any farther, we got to know what kind of education you have. What makes you qualified to be a social worker?
Okay, so I got my undergraduate degree in social work at Bowling Green State University, and then I got my master's degree in social work at Cleveland State University. So did 5 years of college classes and training to be a social worker, and I am also licensed in the state of Ohio to practice social work as well.
Okay, you're licensed in the state of Ohio. Now, did you do any kind of internship or anything like that, or were you just literally thrown to the wolves?
Yes, I did internships in both my undergrad and my graduate program. Undergraduate program, I did it at Mercy Hospital in Toledo. I was in the pediatric floor doing case management and social work, and then in grad school actually at the Cleveland Clinic in the pediatric floor as well, doing case management and social work for children and families there. And then I got my first job at Belfair doing community mental health for the past 3 years now, and then landed up on Wellington.
No,
and that's how I'm here.
So you're qualified. At least we hope you are.
Yeah,
anyway.
right.
Now we know that you're not only engaged with the district itself, we know that you're engaged specifically with students and parents within the Wellington School District, but also you're engaged within the community. How are you, there's the question, how are you engaged with the community?
Absolutely. So I am definitely trying to get involved in different initiatives and meeting with different agencies in the area just to get some knowledge on some of their services, so that way if I'm referring people to those services, I know that they are true to what they are promoting in a way. So I've met with Oberlin Community Services, I've met with Well Help. Those are two really good agencies in the area that people can get resources from, such as food, clothing, and things like that. So I'm trying to meet with agencies, being a part of Thrive as well, and just getting to know the area so that way I can better refer people.
Now Well Help was one. Do these organizations, now I know Thrive, actually will put this out on their website, I believe. I think they're working on getting a YouTube channel involved. So through Thrive and the Mind, Body, Spirit Project, but also within the community. As an example, Wellington itself, as far as Wellington, the Main Street Wellington, things like that. How are they actually putting this information out? Is there like a flyer involved at Main Street Wellington, as an example? How within these people, within the community, how are you actually advertised, I guess is the right word to use?
Absolutely. So once I started in Wellington, one of my biggest things that I wanted to do was make a resource guide for families in the community to access. Since it is a smaller community, I wanted to reach out to outside in Lorain and Oberlin to see what was out there. So I did put a resource guide together, which can also be accessed on Wellington's school website, that people can access that. And that's kind of how I got familiar with the resources in this area. I know Oberlin Community Services, they have some pop-up food pantries in Wellington. I know that they're trying to get some dates established of when that's going to happen in Wellington. And same with Well Help, just working together for me to spread the word in the schools and have them. Also, I talked to Well Help about me giving them business cards, so if they have any families who need, they can reach out to me. So I think we're all just trying to work together to get all our names out there.
Okay, well, last stupid question. On the homepage for Wellington Exempted Schools, are you listed there by any chance?
Yes, I am.
You are? Okay.
Yep, I'm on the staff directory, so my email and phone number is also on that. If people want to look up my name that way, and it's Emily Medves.
Okay, very good. Last question. What do you want families within not only the school district, but within the entire community, what do you want them to know?
Absolutely. I would say my biggest thing that I want people to know is that I am here to help, and I'm very passionate about the school, the kids in it, the administration, the families. If I am reaching out to you, it is because I want to help, and I want people to feel comfortable reaching out to me, and that's why I've made it possible for people to contact me through the forum online, so it's a little bit more discreet if you don't want to call up to the school and ask for services, or you can go to the guidance counselors and whatnot. So please do not hesitate to reach out if you are interested or if you just want to know a little bit more about what I do. I'm more than happy to share and be a part of this community.
Oh, very good. Well, we would like to thank Mrs. Emily Medves for coming in and talking about the social working going on, not only within the school district, but within the community itself. So Emily, thank you very much for coming in and explaining all of the things having to do with social work here at Wellington High School, Westwood, and the middle school, and as I say, within the community. This has been Dialogue with the Dukes.